Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. Sorry I was not available last night. Hey, Matt. But I told y'all I was gonna take those braids up. So yesterday was my wash the gray out of my hair day and do a new braid style day. But I got some stuff I want to talk about tonight. First of all, let's just talk. I'm going to just talk briefly about this stuff with Mr. Biden, the lesser of two evils. So apparently, he's going to be picking his running mate or making the official announcement about his running mate this week. And he apparently is feeling the pressure to pick someone of color. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess he considers Kamala Harris a person of color, and technically she is. If he picks Kamala, it's just he's done. Okay, he's done, in my opinion. I mean, because here's the thing: only 60% of Americans actually voted in the last election in 2016. Okay, if he puts Kamala Harris on a ticket with himself, I fear that we will have another one of those presidential elections where people just don't vote, and I don't want to see that. I know he's getting I know there's a lot of flack behind Susan Rice, but I'm sorry. Has the current president ever held a political office? If he ever held a political office before, can someone go find it and show it to me? Dude has never held, so you can't hold that against Susan Rice, okay? And from what I can tell, everyone else on the entire list that he has held some type of political office. I don't feel that Kamala Harris is a good, Bernie situation all over again. I mean, he needs to really go talk to his people, because he needs to know that nobody wanted Kamala Harris to be president. And if we didn't want her to be president, let's just think about this. We don't want her to be vice president either, because see, the vice president could potentially become president. She's not the one. I mean, now I know he's not going to put Bernie on there. That's not going to happen. And then again, if you put Bernie on there and then he won, then we have two old men, And I love Bernie, but Bernie has some issues. He's had some health issues. Not even trying to be funny, but just being serious. I just don't think so. So that is crazy. But we're going to find something out this week. The other thing I wanted to just talk about briefly is really something that's going on specifically in California, because I don't know, the governor in this particular state has issues, it appears, with specific, industries and just religious houses of worship. So this is the reason why DC gets bent out of shape about it, is because every casino in Southern California is either open or about to open. So it's okay for people to go into crowded ass casinos, because even with them cut down, they're still allowing a great amount of people in them with the social barriers and blah, 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 blah in there. But it's not okay for people to go to a house of worship in numbers, I don't know, higher than the one you put out there, especially if they have a huge place to actually worship. And there's been several churches in California, Southern California, that have basically, hey Darren, that have basically defied the state mandate on churches of worship, on places of worship rather. One of them is a Calvary Chapel in Ventura County. The other is Grace Community Church in LA County, and the pastor is John MacArthur. And if you follow the Christian thing, the Calvary chapels are a pretty big denomination, okay? Because they don't just have them in California. They kind of have them all over the place. And in regards to John MacArthur, I know he's pretty well known outside of the Los Angeles area as well. Now, granted, both of these pastors, excuse me, are not pastors of color, but there are pastors of color that are doing things, namely mine. We once again had a parking lot service yesterday afternoon, and it was just praise and worship, because we can't sing. If we actually do have a service, we're not supposed to sing inside the church. So we've taken our praise and worship to the big parking lot of the community center that my church bought and owns in the city of Inglewood. We did that, and we were out there for like 2 hours. And it felt good to be able to do that, because y'all know I'm upset about that, specifically because this governor begged houses of worship to endorse him and to vote for him. And many of them did, but you know why they did? Because his wife is a believer. His wife is a believer. I wonder how she feels about what her husband's doing now. He's also keeping salons closed. They're only allowed to do outside activities. Now, I'm against that as well, mainly because hairstylists are cosmetologists, and they have to take a lot of study hours. I think it's like 1,600 hours in the state of California. They have to use barbicide. They have to use a lot of, medical sanitation procedures, excuse me, in keeping their barbershops and hair salons up to a certain standard for the state board. And they could easily, it may be a pain, but schedule one customer at a time. So there's only, 2 people in the salon? There's creative ways to do this that do not implore them to try to do stuff outside or go to their clients' houses. I know, but the mob is not in charge of the casinos here in California, though, Matt. That's in Vegas. I'm talking about the California casinos. The California casinos primarily are owned by Native Americans. There's, excuse me, two or three in Southern California. They're Native Americans. And they're the biggest ones. Then you have a couple of other ones. You have a Hustler Casino. Then you have some other casinos that are in LA County. Hey, Joe. But no, the casinos primarily are run by the nations. Yeah, Native American nations run them. And they're open for business. They are open for business, but you can't go into a synagogue or a church or a mosque in the state of California with over 10 people. Or you're subject to a fine or worse. But here's my thing. The churches that have assembled are saying that they are assembling in protest. Or we're allowing people to be doing their protests outside. Hey, Marilyn. I'm just saying. I'm playing God's advocate in this. Okay? And it's just, to me, I feel like it's a violation of the right to freedom of religion and to be able to worship and to assemble to worship. So I took y'all through all of that so that I could actually get to the thing that one of the things that I want to talk about tonight. One of the things that I'm going to talk about tonight. Now, I've kind of like scaled over this, but I'm going to really talk about this really because there was a content creator who did a live today, and I'm not going to even say who it is because live's not there anymore, so it doesn't even matter. But the live was just talking about women raising sons. And I'm just going to be specific, Black women. Okay? And some of the statements that were made in that, this particular YouTuber, I guess, feels that they're the only one that's out there that's talking about it. But it's not really that they're the only one that's out there talking about, what you should do as a woman, when you have a man child, and as they become a young man up into adulthood. But there's some of us who have walked the walk and talked the talk, and I don't know, think that it should be a no-brainer, but maybe it's not. But I think that the way that I'm going to talk about it is kind of like in a different manner than this other content creator. So here's what my first statement's going to be. As being a woman of color, a Black and Latino woman, but Black 100% on either round, I am very, very aware, being the mother of a son, that I cannot teach my son how to be a man. I can nurture him, and I did nurture him, and I can teach him how to be a good person. But ultimately, it is his father's responsibility to teach him how to be a man. And if the father is not doing that, then hopefully I, as a Black woman, have Black men around me, brothers, father, uncles, that could step into that role. Not necessarily um, would I say that it would be someone that I would have dated when my son was growing up. Because, see, right now I'm talking about a grown man, you know, and it's still not my responsibility to teach him how to be a Black man. You know, I'm well aware that I raised a Black man, and I have fears for him as a mother, but the conversations that need to be had with him, I don't even know if his father's having them with him. I pray that he does. I do have other people around, but you know, I'm just saying. So now this particular YouTuber did talk about some things, and I agree with her on some of the things that she said. I guess I just have a different way of delivering that kind of stuff. So here goes. Let's get into it. Um, if you are a single mother and you are raising sons or daughters, I'm just gonna put it out there, sons or daughters, it is advisable that you keep your dating life separate from your children. Okay? Simply because it's not a good look to have multiple people going in and out of your child's life. Um, that's something that I practiced when my son was growing up. Now, did I date? Of course I dated. Did I have like what I would consider serious relationships? Yeah, I did. But one of the things that I did not do is I didn't really bring anybody around my son. And as a matter of fact, even if the relationship was serious, I think it took me probably over a year. Yeah, that part. To bring anybody around my kid. Number one, as you guys know, he's special needs. He has autism. Um, Number two, I did not want to have that look around my son. And I didn't know if a relationship was going to get serious or not. But I know that there are many young ladies out there that don't operate that way. And I know it's hard, y'all. Let me just say, it's hard when you are raising a child or children and the father is not in the home. Be it because you decided you didn't want to be in a relationship with him, he didn't want to be in a relationship with you, whatever the case may be. But here's my thing. If you decide to have a child and the person that you have the child with, that relationship does not work out. Now I'm speaking to the ladies, and you have the child is with you, because in most situations, the children stay with the mother, even in co-parenting situations. You basically, your life is not your own until that child is an adult. And then sometimes even then it may not be. But pretty much you have to be selfless. And I know that a lot of these young ladies have a hard time doing that. But I'm not gonna call them out a name. I would just say that when you're getting into relationships and you're a single mother, um, you need to tread lightly for a number of reasons. You have to make sure that anybody that you are dealing with is safe to bring around your kid. And this is for whether you have boys or girls. Okay? This is another point that the YouTuber content creator was talking about earlier that I definitely agree with. There, especially in this day and age, but just knowing from times going by that many times these some men will get with a woman because they want to get close to their kids, and don't think you safe if you got a boy, because you're not. I mean, it's a reality. This is one of the reasons why it's like, oh, it's not about, oh, DC don't want y'all to have a life or nothing. I'm just talking about wisdom. This is how I handled some things when I was coming through, and I'm a lot older than a lot of the ones that we see doing all of this stuff. you know I know, a lot of times, they don't understand when you tell them that there'll be plenty of time for dating. But I'm just going to tell you, excuse me, from the point of view of an older woman, men respect you more if they know that you're taking care of home first, your kids. It's not cute if you hanging out and you got babies at home. It's not cute. Yeah, you can do it every once in a while. Hey, Terry. But it's not cute if you're doing it all the time. And now we're in this state that we're going through now, where you're not able to do as much of that as you were able to do for a long period of time. But again, think about the fact that when you have little people at home, they come first. And I have to say this for the women out there that, get with the next guy and and you know think that them and their kids are a package deal. Yeah, you and your kids are a package deal. But Nobody can really be the father to your kids that their own father can be if he's available and willing and able to be a parent to his kids. Exactly, Matt. But I'm telling you, that stuff, that's a real thing. We all know it's a real thing. Like in Precious, where her daddy, quote unquote daddy, was putting babies in her. Okay? And then you have little boys that get turned out by men molesting them. I mean, I'm trying to say it the nicest way possible in my conversation. But it's a reality. The reality is that you can't be out there thotting when you got kids. Now, and you're single. It is what it is. And especially as they get older, like when they start to get into, the teens. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, even though I might have been in relationships and stuff, everything, I really, in my head, I didn't even think about it until my son was 18. I just didn't. Now, don't think I didn't live, but I didn't play them games, with my kids' life. And that has an effect on your kids when they become adults. Now, one of the things that the other content creator said that I'm not sure I agreed with. I don't think I really do. But they were talking about potentially women who raise sons, teaching those sons to be submissive to females. I don't agree with that. Okay. First of all, because, I believe I'm one of the old fashioned type of chicks. I believe that in a relationship, the woman is supposed to be submitted to the man. But obviously, it should be a good man that there's no question about being submitted to, you know. But I believe in marriage too. So, but the analogy is that these women who raise mama's boys, and the mama's boys are submissive to females. Now, I'm going to say that maybe in some situations that might be true. But I'll use my son as an example, because he's definitely a mama's boy. Okay? But as you guys know from his history, he is not confused about the fact that he's a man and I'm a woman. Okay, or a girl. He's a boy and I'm a girl, and that you know what the roles should be. Okay, because I try to instill that into him, and I believe that his dad tries to instill that into him, and he sees that hopefully in me, his mom, and how I deal in my relationships. But it was just listening to this content creator basically talking about the fact that there are no other content creators that are talking about this misbehavior of young women. I think that there are people that talk about it, but it's not our only subject matter. Like, I'm going to talk about this right now. I might talk about it again at a future date, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't be like the basis of my channel. You know, Nor is my channel one of those beauty channels or a gossip channel. Nothing against those, but that's just not my lane. I try to give you know knowledge, and some of it is based on my own experience. You were not a mama's boy. I know, but that's the thing. But here's the thing: all men that are raised by single mothers are not mama's boys. Okay, nor are they men who don't know how to treat a woman or who are submissive to women. That's just not a fact. Because if they've got strong male role models in their life, be it their dad, be it their, you know, you know, uncles, cousins, you know, elders around them, then that they're gonna watch what they see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not an assumption that a woman, a single mother raising boys is going to influence boys to not be men, or that she's going to be of the foolish delusion that she knows how to raise him into a man. I don't know a damn thing about being a man. Okay? I don't. So I rely on my son's father and my brother, and other males that are around him in my life to show him that. Because I can't do it. I would never try. Hey, uppity unicorn. I would never try. But yet and still, I'm not going to be of the mind to think that all women in this younger generation, you know, are raising their sons to be punks. No, I don't see that. I don't see it, and I'll just say it, you know, I don't even know if I'm not going to even put it off to a relationship with the Most High. is that as to whether you have to have a relationship with the Most High in order, to be able, to do the right thing in regards to bringing a young man to adulthood. But I do know that, yeah, there are some young women that are foolish enough to think that when they get in relationship with Pookie or Ray Ray or whoever it is, that they're with at this particular point, that Pookie or Ray Ray is going to be a good, father figure for their kids. And I will agree with the other content creator in the statement in regards to that in most times, unless this man is trying to be in a serious relationship with you, they ain't got no time for your kid. And they certainly not going it should not be an expectation of you as a woman for this man to help you in instilling that into your kids. Now, unless he marries you, that's not even something that should even be on the table. It shouldn't even be an assumption. But I do know that there are some women out there that, are looking for somebody to help them raise their sons and their daughters. And I understand that, but it can't be every boyfriend that you got. You definitely can't be parading a whole bunch of men through your child's or children's lives. If you ain't with the father that is their father, and if he's, you know, around and willing to be in their life, then let them spend time with their dad when you spending time with your boo thing. And boo thing don't need to come around your kids until you know that it's a serious relationship. You know that this ain't somebody who's going to do anything to your kids so that you end up on the 6 o'clock news. I'm being real. I'm being real. Now, my situation, my mom was around and she lived in my back house because I had two houses. And she was there until my son was 16. And then she went home to be with the Lord. And I will tell you, during all of that time, if I wanted to see someone that I was dealing with, it generally was when my son was not home. He was at daddy's house. I didn't even really allow guys that I was dating to even come over to my house. But that was me. That's how I handled things. That's how I handled things. Yeah, they knew I had a kid. Yeah, they knew and they would know that I had a son who had autism. So for me, maybe that was easier for me to not necessarily bring them around. But you know what? Some guys would get insulted because they thought that was the reason why I wouldn't bring my kid around them. When really, well, it had nothing to do with him being on the autism spectrum. It had to do with the fact that, hey, this ain't. I don't know where this is going. I'm not bringing you around my son. But that's how I handled the situation. But I just, when I heard this, content creator going off, she was basically going off. And, you know, she talks how she talks. I talk how I talk. You know, I have a different way of delivering that kind of information, and my feelings about that, you know, than other content creators do. Oh, you enjoyed being the younger brother? Now, I'm like, here's the thing. Like, my brother is the baby. My brother is the baby. Um, but when my parents got a divorce, I was already an adult. But my brother was under the age of 10. But my mama, God bless her soul, was of the mindset that my dad was moving to another part of the country, and she specifically said, "You're not going across the country and not taking your son, because your son needs his father. I don't know how to teach him how to be a man. That's your job." You know. And see, my dad's not like a deadbeat father or anything. I mean, my mom never had to chase after him to get child support from my sister. He had my brother, so there was no child support on that. They basically, one had one of the minor kids, one had the other. I was an adult, you know, but you know that's the way that my mom handled the situation. When I, you know, got a divorce from my ex-husband, my expectation was that he still needs to figure out how to be a father to his son. He still needs to do whatever it is that he needs to do to show his son how to be a man. Because I honestly can't do that. And I would never put that expectation on any other man except for the man who is his dad. Point blank, period. And if he does a lousy job at doing this, and this is what I'm telling I'm saying this to young women. If if the father is doing a lousy job of being a father, that's on him. But the next man, it's not their responsibility. Now, granted, if they want to be involved, that's great. But if they not your husband, they're not your husband. I'm just saying, you know, it's not their responsibility. Not. And no woman should ever put that off on a man who is not the father of the children. A man can take on that responsibility if he wants to, because there are there are brothers out there, real men out there, that will do that. But you, as the female, should never put that on the man. That's not the father of the child. Shouldn't do it. I've seen people do it. I've seen it cause issues, because just because a person is in a relationship with you does not mean that they're in a relationship with your kids. Not I'm being perfectly honest about that. Do not make the assumption that if a person is dealing with you, that they are going to deal with your kids. And I know we all go about, well, I'm a package deal and all of that stuff. Okay, well, in my situation, it's a package deal because my son is now an adult and I'm his caregiver as an adult. But anybody who's in a relationship with me is in a relationship with me. They may have a relationship with my son, but I would never expect them to act in the capacity of his father. He got a daddy. And kids may find that resentful. And they may resent the person if you put that on them. FYI, women who do that. Especially when, again, father is willing and able to be around his kids. And just because either he don't want to be with you or you don't want to be with him, let the kids do what they need. Let the kids have that relationship with their father. Don't put that off on whoever you're with. Any relationship that they have, they'll work it out. They'll figure it out. Oh, Trump thinks he's the chosen one? Yeah, he's tripping. He's tripping. And I know there's people out there that tried to say, well, he might be the Antichrist and all that stuff. Well, let me just explain to y'all. The Antichrist will not be a political leader. The Antichrist is a religious leader. So it won't be Donald Trump. It wasn't Obama. It won't be any other president of the United States. Just so y'all know. Trump is not the chosen one. But if Joe Biden picks the wrong person as his running mate, it may look like Trump is the chosen one because we may have another 60% of the people voting election. We don't want that. Why do I hear a train? Thank you. My son is playing trains on YouTube. That's one of the channels that he subscribes to that just has trains. That's all it is. You just watch trains. Um, I'm not knocking it because they get a whole bunch of views. So there must be a lot of people who like to watch trains. But I don't want it in my live stream. If I can hear it, that means they can hear it. And you're not gonna get mommy getting no strikes for the sound of a train on YouTube. Now, if there's a train that's in the background behind me, that's a whole nother situation. But I don't live near no train tracks, so we shouldn't be hearing no trains. I think my brother likes being the youngest. My son is the only, and I think he has only child-itis, so he likes being the only child. I know The Simpsons does a lot of predictive programming. what's the other one? There was predictive programming on South Park too. But The Simpsons is really good at predictive programming. Really good. To the point of it's very eerie how accurate the predictive programming on The Simpsons is. And you don't even think about it when you're seeing it until something happens, and then you go back and look at that and find that Simpsons um episode. Like, there's probably a Simpsons episode that was talking about this global pandemic. I bet you there's one out there about that too. They seem to predict everything. We need a so hopefully this week Joe Biden will not pick Kamala Harris. Y'all, I'm so serious about that. I'm so serious about that. Now, my issues are around, you know, not that she's said that she was black, but she's allowed people to think that she was black. She's allowed people to think that she's black when she's not. That's my problem with with her and her having issues about segregation and busing. Okay? Because she was having issues with busing that happened to black kids, you know. And I'll say it again, not everyone who is in one of the Divine Nine is black. All of our organizations have allowed people who are not black into our organizations. All of us. You know, Kamala Harris would be the biggest mistake that Joe Biden could make. You know, and I mean, I've looked at, Karen Bass. I know that, there's some controversy around her and everything, but personally, I just think they're just looking for controversy around these people. You know, thankfully, you know, the person who's your running mate for vice president does not have to be confirmed by the Senate or anything. It is what it is. So we really hope that he picks a good candidate for vice president. One that's going to help him win this daggone election. That's what he needs. He honestly does. And although the majority of the people that he has, I think almost everyone that he has on his list is a black woman, that it's probably likely that he may pick a black woman. As long as he don't pick Kamala Harris thinking he's done that. Oh, you got Omarosa's book? I just started reading the new. I just started the Audible book, the new Jim Crow. I'm listening to it. Right. I just started it though. Yeah. Omarosa, you know, the only thing I liked about Omarosa was when she was with Michael Clark Duncan. You know, and I did feel for her when he passed, but when she first went up in that White House with Trump, we all knew that he was going to use her and then get rid of her. We knew that was coming. And so when it happened, nobody was shocked. Nobody was shocked. And the thing is that she allowed herself to be used by 45, which is unfortunate for her. It's unfortunate for her that she allowed herself to be used by him. Um, I don't know. Tell us how the book is, Terry. I'm interested, but I'm not quite interested enough yet to actually go out and purchase it. I've got a bunch of books that I'm trying to read right now. A bunch of books. I'm about to get off of here, you guys, but I wanted to share something with you guys that happened to me yesterday. Kind of freaked me out, actually. But yesterday, at our outdoor service, it was kind of like a prophetic service. And at the end of the service, you know, my pastor was speaking in the prophetic. And in the middle of everything that she was saying, she said something to me directly. She said something to me directly. And what she said was, stop doing, you need to start taking seriously. You need to start doing, focusing on the stuff that you're doing because it needs to be out there. And she was, you know, y'all, I didn't know my pastor like listens to my stuff. Shouts out to Pastor Val. She listens to some of my stuff. And I guess the Holy Spirit told her that I wasn't taking it as seriously as I should be. And I'm going to have to agree with her. So I guess that was a message to me that I need to tighten up on some stuff, even though I think I am. I'm really not. But I'm going to come on camera for you guys before I get off of here because I've been on here for over an hour. Let y'all see my new hairstyle. Hopefully, I didn't put teeny tiny braids in. I put kind of medium size in there so I could get them done in one night and not be up for days doing my hair. So let me get on here so y'all can see. Yeah, my son's going to come over and get on the camera too. Hey, everybody. See? Yep, just put in some straight braids. There you go. Say hi. Turn up and turn around. Look. Say hi. There you go. He wants to rub my head. Yeah. So that's the black man that lives in my house. And once again, I know that I, as a mother, cannot teach my son how to be a man. And any mothers out there, if you think that you can teach your son how to be a man, you need to think about that again. If the father's not in their life and wants to be in their life, and he's willing to do that he's supposed to do in regards to being a role model to his kids of what a man should be, then by all means allow that man to be in his kid's life. I'm just gonna say it. Just do it. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here. I know I've been preaching tonight, just putting some stuff out there, but I talk about different things. Let me get this. Let me get myself clear. Okay, there we go. Now I'm in the center. All right, you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I'm gonna offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I got like an hour and a half sleep last night. I should be dead on my feet at this particular point, but I'm not because I did all of this last night. That's why I didn't get on last night. But I will be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna keep this going. And if you guys have any thoughts about some of the stuff that I talked about tonight, please leave me some comments in the comments section. Give me your opinions. I'd like to know. I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. Peace. I'm out.